So, I was out and about the other day, and usually when I'm out in between errands, I'm pretty decent at calculating the time because I'm always in a rush for time. Time is the most scarce resource I have. And it is rare, but it happens that I accidentally plan so that I have like a gap of hours in between appointments. I don't like doing that because it feels like I'm wasting my time. However, it happened the other day, and so I had to accept the consequences of it. Usually, when that happens, I like to walk outside, especially when I'm around in the city center. I like to walk around, I like to look for new things that are happening outside. But this day it was cold and dark outside. I'm not particularly fond of the cold, by the way, even though I live up here in the frozen wastes of the north. Every so often I ask myself that question, why am I living here, really, if it's that cold? And every single time the answer is the same, because I like the variety of seasons, really, deep down. But whatever. So I needed to do something different other than walking outside. So I decided, actually, because I was close to the train station of all things, I decided to walk into the train station and just find some random coffee shop and sit down and have some coffee. Now, the train station in the city where I work is kind of notorious for being like a shabby shanty place. There's a lot of drug addicts, there's pickpockets, there are thieves, there's probably drug dealers doing their, nasty business, all sorts of, you know, shabby stuff. And even though the whole place has been refurbished lately, it's kind of got that shabby look and feel. So, with that being said, my hopes weren't high, really. Now, I found this place, this coffee place, and the only reason why I picked that particular place wasn't because it looked so appealing, or it looked appealing, but that was just because it had pretty much the entire seating area was vacant, which meant that either the place sucked so bad that nobody wanted to go there, or I was lucky to find like an aperture in well in well, perhaps aperture is the wrong word, but I found like an opening in between crowds that were walking in and out of the train station. I think it's fair to say. Anyway, so I walk up, I place my order, I just want some regular coffee. The lady behind the bar asks if I want one to go or if I want to sit. And I tell her I just want to sit down and have my coffee here. I'm not going anywhere. So she gives me this mug, like this old school coffee mug, and she pours coffee into the mug from a coffee maker behind. And so that actually increased my hopes a little bit, because usually what I see in these places is they have these automated coffee machines where they just push a few buttons on the display, and then the coffee machine makes the coffee, and that coffee tastes like crap. But here they actually manually made the coffee, which meant it could either be very good or very crappy. Now, keep in mind, my hopes weren't high, so I was 100% prepared for the coffee to taste like dishwater, let's just say. However, the opposite happened. The coffee was so good, it was so delicious. And the reason for that is, or the reason is, of course, they were using my favorite brand of coffee. Here's a product placement warning, by the way. They used Evergood coffee. And no, I'm not affiliated with Evergood Coffee. I don't make money from mentioning their names, whatever. It just happens to be my favorite coffee brand. So I don't know. If Evergood is watching this, maybe you want to give me some affiliation money. That was a joke. Half-hearted joke. Whatever. The point is this. Even though the place or the whole train station was shabby, even though the restaurant or the coffee place in question was a little bit shabby and it wasn't like inviting or appealing. To me, this place is 100% appealing because they, number one, they used Evergood coffee. Number two, they made the coffee, or the lady behind the counter had made the coffee really, really well, and it tasted really, really good. And number three, they offered free refills. So I sat there for an hour, about an hour, give or take, and had 3 cups of coffee for the price of one, really. So you can do the math. Now, I'm not here to nitpick on penny pinching, but it's just worth mentioning that if you do have the time, and if you're sitting down, and if you can get free refills on coffee that tastes good, why wouldn't you sit there and actually take advantage of that? Just think about it. And yeah, that's today's persuasion lesson for this video. I'll definitely be back to that particular coffee shop simply because they treated me well. And that's also a lesson in and of itself, how to make a half shabby place into a great, or how to turn a shabby place into a great experience. That's what they did. So if you want to learn more about persuasion, get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this, and I'll see you there.